Check, check, check. All right. Trying to get this thing dialed in. Hold on a minute. A little loud. Turn this down. Let's see how that is. All right. All right, folks. Hopefully somebody can jump on here. I don't expect anybody. It's Monday. But you know, turn the volume down here so I don't hear myself speak. Could barely do that on my own. I don't need an echo. Just checking the volume. If somebody gets on here, you can tell me if I'm too loud and all that good stuff. Let me turn this down just all right. Again, I don't expect anybody to get on here. It's kind of last minute. I knew I was going to do it this morning. I was going to jump on it in the morning. I got tied up with a bunch of packages and stuff like that. I had to get out the door at lunchtime. And then I had to knock out a bunch of other hardware prep and post-processing on the printer. The printer is running in the background right now, so I hope it's not annoying. In fact, let me check that. What we're going to do is we're going to prep the Baja 1000 race file. Other than me, well, people have been blowing me up, asking me if I looked at it at all. And when they called me individually, I said, well, I got on, I looked at it. I glanced at it and put a little post out this morning about it. But that's it. I haven't touched this file. I haven't prepped it. So this is going to be me taking a look at this file, really sitting down for the first time, looking at this file to prep it. And I thought about doing this in just a regular video and putting it up there. I got a lot of folks hit me up lately about how to merge routes, how to splice routes. Is there a good video on covering just merging of routes? And I had to think about it. I had to go back and look through the past videos. And I guess we did kind of discuss it here and there through different race videos, race prep videos over the years. I know there was a video at one time I did on merging routes. I got to dig it up. Might have been old. But anyway, this morning I was like, well, I can either make a video and try to make this edit version of this where I make it look all nice and pretty and clean, or screw it. Let's just jump on here. We got this live system running. I got all the displays up. This is either going to go really well or really bad. I'm going to look like an idiot. But we'll see how bad this race file is and if I can show you how to prep it. This is going to be the first time I take a look at it. In other words, I might screw it up, but we'll see. At the end of this, I might clean this up, chop out all this bull crap, and might make a nice clean video on how to prep it. But we'll see how this goes. If it goes well, I'll leave it up. If not, I'll delete it. So again, I don't expect anybody to be on here. It is Monday. Most people have lives. And I figured, well, maybe the racers, because they're all scrambling right now, one of them might jump on here, but I'm not really expecting it. I'm just going to leave this up through the week. And this is going to end with me prepping the file myself. And who knows, I might put it up on the store. I may not. But I know folks will watch this after the fact. And when everybody keeps blowing me up through this week, I can just say, take a look at this video. And let's get to it. But let me check real quick. All right. I think we're good. But again, if somebody jumps on here, let me know if the sound sucks so I don't get the whole way through this and the volume be screwed up or you hear the machines run in the background. But I think it sounds pretty good. So I set everything up here a little bit better. It was like third time I did this. Got this little high-speed stream deck thing here. I think I figured it out so I can switch between the displays, the iPad, the web browser, Google, whatever else we want to take a look at. But let's jump into it. So the 2022 Score International Baja 1000. Let's go to the website. See here. All right. So I'm on the website. We're going to go to the Baja 1000. Then we're going to go down and look for these GPS files. GPS files. See what they got. I did glance at this over the week, and I kind of popped fun at it this morning. I have never seen this. I mean, I've seen this, but it's just kind of, it's different. Maybe y'all seen it before. I haven't seen it. I only started doing this since 2014. So maybe folks seen this in the past, but this patch, these patches that came out, it's kind of funny. But make sure I'm good over here. All right, yeah, you got my display. All right, so these patches came out, and for me, just glancing at them right now, I know what they're talking about. I mean, this is kind of cool. They got a little diagram of what they changed, which is nice. Looks like they have the GPX file, I hope, for just that change. And I'm trying to see if you actually see my cursor up on the screen. I gotta fix that later so you can see that. Can you see it over here? I don't know if you can see that cursor. No, you can't. All right. Anyway, we'll take a look at this. But these patches, I'm hoping that these GPX files are just these segments, and we'll be able to merge those into the route. But first, let's find the main GPS file and scroll down here. What's this say? You'll be DQ'd. You'll be Dairy Queened if any of these areas are accessed. So, I guess they, so what happened here? You see what happened was, probably these landowners here complained or something like that, or I don't know. But they switched this up here, and they definitely don't want you on these sections. So we'll take a look at those too. Let's go down here. Pre-run files for all four-wheel pro classes, pro moto classes, and pro quad class. Right there. That's the one we want, GPX. I'm not going to have time to look through these other ones. Well, we'll see. Let's just continue. See how long this goes. We got the GPX file right here. So I'm going to switch over to my iPad. So I'm going to switch views here. iPad. Check out this tech. Hold on. Boom. Got to make the boom noise when you do that. Look at that. So you should be looking at my iPad. All right. You are looking at my iPad. Let's jump over to here real quick. All right. All right, so we got the iPad up. Before we kick this off, and a lot of people have issues with this, we're going to scrub this iPad of all past trips. I mean, we're about to do the Baja 1000. You don't want to have, 3 or 4 other races loaded up on LEADNAV in the menu. You don't want to have map imagery from 3 or 4 different locations spread across the globe from previous trips. You want to wipe that stuff out. And folks that hit me up all the time, well, how do we organize this? How do we keep our collections organized? Well, you keep them organized by not keeping them on the device. Make yourself a Dropbox account. It's probably the best way. I mean, you can do it however you would store files. You can do it on a computer, a hard drive. There's a number of ways you can store files, because that's what LEADNAV uses, is GPS files. But you do not want to store them on LEADNAV on the one iPad or one iPhone that you own. You don't want to do it. If something happens to that iPad, they're gone forever. If you accidentally fat finger a collection and you delete it, it's gone. I can't bring it back. You can't bring it back if you didn't back it up. Just like you can't do with a Garmin or Lowrance. You want to come up with a method to store your files. I use Dropbox just because I also run a company account with Dropbox, because then I can cloud. I keep everything on everything I own in the cloud that I can access from any computer, any phone, anything I got, I can access up into Dropbox. I got everything organized into my folders like you would for your life. And I have a GPS folder. And in that GPS folder, you can choose to organize it by race. You know, you could be like Baja 1000, Baja 500, you know, Mint 400. You could do it that way by folders. And then in that folder, I would put, you know, another folder for 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. And then you can always go back and look at those other files or access them and keep them organized that way. If you're using LEADNAV for anything else, you know, maybe you're a mountain biker or something. Well, maybe you want to do it by state, by folders by state, by location, by trail park, however you want to do it. But you got to organize these files somewhere other than LEADNAV. So I'm going to first go into my menu, and you can see I have the California 300, which was an awesome race to prep the files for. We did a video on that. If you want to see that, you can go back and look. I think it was a couple weeks ago. It took about 5 minutes. This is not going to take 5 minutes, unfortunately. But the way they hand out that file, the way these folks should hand out this file, it takes about 5 minutes to prep. Anyway, I'm going to take those collections. I already backed them up. I already have them stored somewhere else. So I am going to eliminate those collections. Clean slate in my menu. Then I'm going to go down here to the settings in maps, and I am going to wipe out the cache of maps. I got around, heck, these are all out east from fishing the past summer. I don't want those loaded on my device. I don't want those. So I got a clean slate. I don't have any custom map tiles. If any of you get erase packages, you might have the MB tiles down under down at the bottom there. I don't have any loaded as an overlay. Sorry, I just ate dinner and I had like Tabasco peppers, and I just made the mistake of rubbing my eye. So bear with me. But anyway, so I don't have any overlays down there at the bottom. I wiped them all out. Now, if you definitely don't want to keep those overlays if you get them from me piled up at the bottom there. They're huge. They're like 4 or 5 gigs. All this stuff running in the background is going to slow down LEADNAV, especially the map imagery, because then it's got to draw multiple areas in the background in different locations. So wipe it out. If you're like, well, Damien, I spent, you know, hours and hours and days saving that map imagery. Well, you shouldn't have, because if you run the Pro Pack, you should only be saving about 10 or 20 areas. When I say areas, I mean the blue tile, individual one. You should only be saving 10 to 20 of those. If you're using Advanced Pack and trying to save and sit there for hours and hours and days, saving little micro tiles all around the globe, it's going to cause issues, and it's not meant to do that. Advanced is for folks hiking. If you want to knock yourself out, if you want to run Advanced Pack and walk the Baja 1000, go for it. But if you're going to be covering the ground that the Baja 1000 covers 1,000 miles, you need Pro Pack to save that much imagery in the background. And you're borrowing that imagery. It's temporary. It's not for you to keep forever. You're supposed to keep it for like 30 days and delete it. So don't get heartbroken that I'm telling you to wipe out your map imagery. You should be doing it every trip. And again, with Pro Pack, it's pretty easy to prep before your next trip. All right. Anyway, got everything cleared out. Now we will go to, let's go up here. All right. We are going to go to the SCORE website on my iPad. I'm going to scroll down. Actually, I'm going to go up to race info. Again, going to go to the Baja 1000. Let's go to GPS files. Let's okay, there's the patches we were talking about. Okay, pre-run files for all four-wheel vehicle, pro class, blah, 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 blah. All right, GPX files. You want the GPX file. LEADNAV runs GPX. So does Garmin. So does Lowrance. Lowrance promotes USR files, but they also run GPX. Said this before. Really, Erase could just hand out GPX files and they'd be good. They could just say, here's your GPS file, and you're good. They don't really have to say USR file because you don't need it. Now, KML file is convenient, but you can convert a GPX to a KML and load that into Google Earth. If we got time, we might do that too. Maybe I'll save that for another video this week. But we want the GPX file. So I'm going to click on that. Download. All right. Double check here. All right. Just do a little update here. All right, still with me? All right, so we got it downloaded. Up on top of the browser, you got that little blue circle with the arrow pointing down. That's your download. Click on that. Top right, got the little square with the up arrow this time. Head down, now the up, because we want to send it up to something now, I guess. So we're going to go to more. Let's see here. GPX. Share file in cloud. Uh-oh. Weird. Okay. Again, I told you I'm going to do this from scratch, so there might be issues. Just me looking at this right now, I would say the issue with this file, that it's not liking it on my iPad, is because it looks like they physically named it and they capitalized the GPX at the end of it. That's my guess. That's why LEADNAV's not showing up. That's why no GPS app's showing up as an option. I think that they renamed that file physically. They didn't save it straight from a device. That's my guess. Well, let's see. So I'm going to instead, let's I don't have this on my display, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to download the file to my computer. Let's see, can I do this on my iPad? I might be able to do this on my iPad. Hold on. Let me see here. Let me bump back. Let me bump back here. Let me see what I can do here inside the iPad, if I can fix this. Yeah, because it's not even letting me save it as a file into the file folders app, because it doesn't recognize the capitalized GPX. Right? So let's here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna download it on my computer. And I am going to my air compressor. If you heard it in the background. All right. I have it on my computer now. I downloaded it from Score's website onto my computer. I'm not showing this right now because I don't have this browser set up, this file folder browser, but this is what I'm doing. I download it to my computer where I could physically type on the name of the file. I'm just changing the name to lowercase .gpx. All right, so GPX. That's all I did. Now, I renamed it on my computer to PR1 GPX to lowercase GPX, because that's how the file formats, that's how extension should be. Extension can't be capitalized. They did that. They renamed it. So there's our first little hiccup in this process. So now that I have that, I'm going to, because I'm on a Mac, I'm going to airdrop it to my iPad. Give me a second. Okay, I'll show you this process. Let me bump back to my iPad. Okay, let me close out of this. We don't need that anymore. Let's just sit here and see what happens. I'm going to share this over. See if it pops up for you. Look at that. Fixed it. It's like I've been doing this for a while. I knew that's what the problem was. They renamed the file to a capitalized .gpx, which is wrong. Everybody knows extensions are lowercase. Zip, lowercase zip. Exe, lowercase exe. You've never seen a capitalized extension. So it was a lucky guess. So here we go. Now I have it. Now it recognizes it on my iPad now. I airdropped it back over. I'm going to type LEADNAV. And we're just going to import. I have no collection, so I'm just going to import it as a new collection. All right, let's go to menu now. Got me up here. Let me get you back on chat here. All right. So now we are going to all right, so now we have it up on the up in the menu. The collection that we just imported has 7 tracks in it. First thing I'm going to do is rename it because it's kind of dumb. Being PR1, GPX, whatever. We're going to name this 20. What am I doing here? I'm typing on my keyboard. It happens a lot. I'm going to type on my iPad here 2022 Baja 1000. And I'm going to put a little, I always do this. I'm going to put edit. Where am I at? What am I doing here? I'm new. All right, edit. All right, so we have it up in the edit. Let me scroll forward here. Where am I at on here? There we go. What does this thing do? So much is... All right, here, we're back. Sorry, I'm just making sure this thing's still going. All right, so now we renamed the collection to 2022 Baja 1000 Edit. And we are going to take a look at what's in here. We got 518 markers. Let me just glance at that real quick. So they got a couple towns in there. They got the BFG pits. They have checkpoints, dangers. They do have a good bit of dangers in there. That's good, because usually on the Baja 1000 you see like 4, like the extreme you're gonna die dangers. So there's a couple more in here they did. So that'll be worthwhile going through the notes and putting in. And the good thing is there'll be a physical point there for us to see. We'll go over that here in a bit. But all right, markers look good. Let's go to tracks. All right, wow, 7 of them. I don't know why, but let's check them out. So pull up the first track. All right. Let's see what happens. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to convert each of these to a route and see how clean these tracks are. If they're clean, there'll be a nice straight red line. If they're funky, there'll be spider webs all over the place. And we'll have to go back and fix that. But let's see. So I'm going to convert. I'm going to go to each track. And I'm going to scroll down and convert the route. Let's just knock it out. Let's do it. I got faith that these are all looking good. So convert the route. Going down through them all. Back to tracks. Number 3. Got to remember what number you're on. There's 3. Going down to 4. Convert the route. 5. 6. They're going for the most routes ever. Did I already do this one? Yes. 6. Let me go back to 7. 7. All right. Let's Let's see what we got here. Let's scroll in here. Let's get in there. Let's get amongst it. All right. We're just going to glance at this. Now, I'm looking for weird things. I'm looking for little bird's nests where the guy stopped for an hour to eat a taco, drink a beer, make sure they're not in here, which I doubt it. They're good at cleaning those out. But you never know. So we're going to look through this. Looks good. Route 2. Let's do an edit on it. Now, when you go to edit the route, what you're going to get is down here on the bottom, you see the mileage. So you can tell the first thing you check in these routes is to make sure that they're going in the right direction. So you see at the front of the route, you're at mile 1.73. If you hold off the route, you can see that the total section's 103 miles. And obviously, if I go to the end, the mileage kicks up. So we know it's going in the right direction. It's counting up. The other way you can tell is see at the end of the route segment, there'll be a circle, a blue circle around the last serpentine dot. It's because in Route Editor, you can build a route. So if I would aim out here and drop another serpentine with the squiggly arrow, you can see it keeps building a route to the end of the route. So we know it's going that way, this way. So we know it's going the right direction. I'm going to delete those segments I just did. And let's go to the section 3, edit. And it put me at the beginning of the route on the edit. So I know this one's going in the right direction. Looks good. Let's go to 4. Looks clean. Let's go to 5. Six. Go to 7. All right. Looks good. That's good. Again, sometimes you'll see spider webbing and all kinds of weird stuff going on. And a lot of times you'll see the tracks will be dropped. Maybe they took the track. Maybe they took that section of the course from a last year's race or another file they had, and they happened to run the track the opposite direction. If they did that and you go to build them into a route, and then you go to, what we're going to do is merge them all together as one. Well, then you'll be joining front to backs, and you'll see a spider web crossing everywhere. It's where they're joining front to back out of order. So if any of these were going the wrong direction, you can go into that route section, and you can scroll down here, and you have somewhere, let's see, reverse. You can reverse the route, which would flip it. So you make sure they're all going in the right direction and flip them around. Sometimes you'll see like a little bird's nest or a little like where they thought they were going to go this way. And they drove that way for a section and they're like, oh crap. And they went back on the road and you got this weird little dog leg. If it annoys you, you can go in there and edit the route and just like, you know, cut that section out. You know, clean it up like that. But so that's it. So right now, if there wasn't any updates to the course, we could take these route sections 1 through 7, just click on one, and we could click join multiple routes. We can make sure that what you're seeing here is a list of all the routes in that collection. So you might have other routes in this file or something like that. It's easy because this is all we have, but maybe you have chase routes in here and everything else. Well, you'll also see those in this list. So you would want to click on those and remove them from what we're about to do. You notice it says remove, not delete. We're just removing that route from what we're about to do, which is merge them together. So if there's anything in here that you don't want in here to make as one, you can take it out by removing it. The other thing, if these were out of order, we're going to have to do this here when it comes to doing these updates, but if these were out of order, you can hold on them and you can reorder them. It's pretty easy, 1 through 7, because if these weren't in order, again, you're going to join them front to back down this list, and you're going to cause a spider web, right? So if there was no updates to this course or patches, we could just join these, do some note taking, some at-home pre-running on the file by looking at it. We could take some of the course notes and enter them in here, which we're going to do here in a bit. But we have these patches, so I am not going to join these right now. And I did break out earlier on my little joke. These patches reminded me of them writing it on a napkin. You know, the update. But I am going to actually use this. And I've done this quite a bit of times. The first, you guys can skip through this. But I came in the desert race in 2014. Again, Ricky Johnson brought me into this whole thing. And that's when Roger took over Score International. And I remember the first, they were getting the files together for the first one he was running. And they had, it was pretty sloppy. It was pretty messy, the way they had all the files. And they were trying to piece them together. And I remember Ricky was with them. And they called me they called me, and I was in a coffee shop on a trip. And I was able to take my phone with LEADNAV on it, do what we're doing right here. And they sent me the file, and I'm in the coffee shop on a napkin. Because I'll show you why here in a minute. But when you go to splice these all together, you know, it's like a little coordination thing. And again, before you do anything like this, if you're not comfortable doing it, like if you did a lot of work on this file already, back up, duplicate the collection before you do things like this, because again, if you and share it somewhere else, because if you screw this up, it's gone. But I would sit here on a napkin, I would draw the segments, because I'm sitting here. All right, well, rally marker, you know, because this is what we're going to do. We're going to go rally marker on this file. Wait, let's look at it. Let's pull it up. Hold on. Let me switch over to here. I forgot. I got this tech here. Let's go this. All right, look at that. So these sections here, we're going to find out in these segments that we got, these official segments 1 through 7, these routes that we made. We got to figure out where these plug in, these updates. The exact same thing I did back in 2014 when they handed me this file in a coffee shop. And we're going to use again a napkin here, because I'm going to draw where these fit into this mix, because we're going to have to cut some of these routes apart to squeeze these in between. I'll show you. So let's look at the first one. Let's see. Patch 1. Seeing what I'm seeing. All right. So let me scroll over here. So patch 1. Kilometer 77. Sorry, I'm thinking. It's already screwing me up. I'm hoping that means RM 77. Let's look at another one. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to visualize this, but let's go ahead and take a look at this GPS file. We'll look at it on my computer first, because we'll see if they did the same thing and renamed it. Let's I downloaded it. Let me see. Hold on. Yep. They did the same thing. So they capitalize all the extensions. So you're going to have to physically change these. Somebody at Score, if you ever watch this, don't capitalize the extensions. So the patch 1 file, I'm looking at it on my computer here. You can't see it. It's capitalized dot capital GPX. So I'm going to rename that to a lowercase GPX. All right. And let me prep another file folder. And I'm going to airdrop this to my iPad, and I'll show you here in a minute. Let's switch back to the, are we still on the iPad? I'm going to go to iPad view. I dig this freaking little dork deck, stream deck. So all the kids use, I guess. All right, so I'm going to airdrop this. Airdrop to my iPad. I see the file right here. Let's just do it. Back out of here so we see where it goes. Let's put this thing in the LEADNAV. Now here we got, and I know I'm in dark mode, and this is a problem. We know we have to update this. In dark mode, you can barely see what's what. The titles of these fields are dark. But that top one that you can barely see is import as new. And the one at the bottom there, where our other collection is, our main edit collection is import into existing. We're going to import this patch into the existing file that we're working on, the collection. So I'm not going to put it in its own. I'm going to drop it down here, import. Now let's back out of here. See where that went. Let's not do that. Let's just go to tracks, click on it, and click view. All right, there it is. All right, so there's that update. So let's take a look at let's take a look and see if yeah, look at that. It matches the napkin that they drew on up there. Looks just like it, actually. Let's go back. Yep, that's it. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to import the rest of these patches like we just did. And I'm going to have to change the extension on each one of them on my computer because I guarantee they capitalized them all. So here we go. I'm going back. You're not going to see this. Actually, I'll show you this just so I'm not, you don't know I'm lying. You don't think I'm lying to you. Web browser. Hold on here. Let's go down to the next one. There's this one. I don't even know what that is. Let's go to the GPX file. It's up here. Yep, they capitalized it. So on my computer, I'm going to make this a lowercase. I don't know. You might be able to do this somehow on your iPad. It's weird because it didn't come into the files browser. I could have maybe done it, and I could have renamed it. I probably could have another app, or I probably could have put it in Dropbox. I don't know. The capitalized extensions aren't recognized by anything, so it's hard to work with them. On a computer, I can physically change it, so that's what we're doing. I'm just physically changing that to lowercase .gpx. We're going to drag that to the iPad. And you see that there? Switch back to the iPad art. So we're going to import that, and we're going to import to the existing collection that we're working on. All right, let's take a look at it real quick. Patch 2, view. What in the world? All right, hold on a minute. Bear with me here. What is this thing? Let's go back to our napkin sketch they did for us. See if we can make out what's going on here. Oh, what in the world is this? What's this say? Extended approach to Highway 1, no mileage added. Move back. Oh, is this a sportsman thing? Is that what this is? I don't know what this is, folks. Let me see here. I have no idea what this is. Any drop frames? Do we have any drop frames? 0.6% drop frames. My internet sucks, so hopefully this isn't too bad for you. Those that pay attention to this later. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing that's, let me read. Sportsman. Notes. New track gain 0 miles. Move back. VCP. SC and rename to VCP. Extended approach. No mileage added. Folks, I have no idea. Let me go back. Am I missing something here? Green. What is this? All right, y'all gonna have to figure that out at the race meeting. All right, let's go down to the next one. GPX file. What's this one look? This one looks pretty simple. GPX file, clicking on it, downloading it. All right, pull this up. Yep, they renamed it wrong. So I'm going to fix it for them. I'm going to make it a lower .gpx. I'm going to drag that to my iPad. I'm going to let you see my iPad. It's coming in. We import it. We're going to check it out. Patch 3. View. Yep, that one's pretty... Yeah, I get that one. Bypass is a danger. All right. See you. Anything else? You will be DQ'd if any of these areas are accessed. We'll come back to those. Let's not confuse it right now. I'm on the website and I'm scrolling further down and there's some other GPS options. I'm not going to load those in right now. So right now we're on the iPad. Go back to the main screen here. So we are going to check here. I don't want to ramble for hours and figure out that something's screwed up with the audio. All right. Hopefully I still sound all right. I'll be pretty pissed if I get through all this and it's not even out there in the world. But then I'll do a clean video of this and it'll look like I did this in 5 minutes. And it'll look awesome. But I wanted to show you what it takes to, look at these races. They're all different. They put them out all different ways. Knock on wood, this isn't the worst I've seen. So let's go into the file and those 3 sections that we added. So right now the race routes, the main race route's in red. It defaults to red, right? Let's, so we don't get confused. I'm going to switch the routes to green. Oh, not yellow. Actually, you know what? Well, yeah, we'll make them all green. Green. 3, 4. 5. Green. It's number 5, 6. Green. Number 7. Green. All right. Let's go back to those 3 tracks, those patches, we're calling them. Let's convert those to a route. Where you at? Patch. Oh, Let's go back to tracks. Patch 2. I already do this one. Which one did I just do? Hold on. They're kind of out of order. Let's go back to routes. Routes. I already did patch 2. So I need 1 and 3. Patch 1. Tracks. Patch 3. Convert to route. All right. So now, let's see where they fall. Let's see how they end up. I was wondering if they would. It's not going to happen anyway. They're not going to end up like perfectly between the 7 segments. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to join all 7 segments, the original race route, together. So I'm going to go back to routes. Let's just pick any. You can pick any one. It doesn't matter. We're going to pick any route and join. Let me go back so you saw that. Join multiple routes. All right. Like I said, this is a list of every route in your collection. We don't want the patches in here right now. I'm going to remove them. I got the 7 main routes. We're going to join them. I'm just going to leave it named join route. All right. They've been joined. Let's back up. And let's find the joined route. So see, it made another route. It took all 7 of those route segments and joined them into one. But it also duplicated them into what it left the originals. So we're going to go into that joined route, take a look at it, go edit, make sure it looks good. Like I said, we want to make sure it's not spider webbed out. Something funky happened. We double checked it before we did it, but who knows? And then you see we put a little pin where they joined. That pin's just to help you visualize what just happened. I'm going to leave those pins in there for now. Let me think. No, we're not going to leave those pins in there. Let's get rid of them. I'm just going to click on each of them, make it into a serpentine. Let's click on that one, make serpentine, click on that one. This is where they all join together. There's sometimes this is nice to visualize. That's why we do it when we're trying to build out a big course. But in this case, we're going to wipe them out. All right. Now, let's I'm going to do it right now. In case I screw this up, I don't want to look like an idiot live. So, I'm going to go back to the main collection menu. I'm going to duplicate the collection. Just going to leave it named copy. Just going to leave a copy out there for the little work we've already done. I don't want to lose it doing something stupid. Again, it's hard enough to do when I'm sitting here in a quiet room, but doing this in front of you with machines running in the background, all this crap on the screen, and trying to do this live, I'm gonna go ahead and make a copy. So I'm in that copy. So I'm gonna back up, and now you can see I have 2 collections. I have the edit and the copy. So go back into our main one that we're working on. Now that we have a backup. And we just joined these 7 sections together into this joined route. So I am going to go into these sections and I'm going to delete them. Again, being careful not to fat finger the patches or something I don't want to delete. Let's take some brain power. My brain's a little fried. So I got to really think when I do this. All right. Number 7, delete. That stuff right there is why I tell you to back up everything, especially when you're out there pre-runner or building this course later on. back up, back up. After each day of pre-running, at least send it to your phone. If you have internet back at a freaking hotel, send it up to the cloud, back up, because it's very easy when you get into editing, you know, back it up to your phone or share it out before you start doing a lot of this stuff. Because if you do one little mess up, you could lose everything. So anyway, so now we have the joined route. I'm going to go into that and we're going to rename that race route. Then we have the patches. So we'll change the race route again to green now. And we'll go into that race route. We'll edit, go in the edit, route editor. And now, okay, here was our goal. Now we can see all the entire race routes joined together, and you got those three little sections right here. All right. Now, this is where, if this gets really complicated, this is pretty clean here. I've seen worse where I've literally had the drawn on the, going back to the napkin, that, all right, I'm going to cut out section. I might do it here, because here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut this route back apart at these segments that we need to splice in, right? So the only time it gets difficult is here at the beginning. We're going to separate these. You gotta a start and a finish overlap always at the beginning of the Baja. And it's hard when you're working on this section to know if you're on the coming or going. So I'm going to hold on it. Let's create some separation here at the beginning to get these. See what I just did? Nope. That one goes over here. This one goes over here. All right. Let's do a little bit more. It's not going to hurt. Nope. Wrong one. Here. Sure you're seeing what I'm seeing. All right. So we got these kind of peeled apart a little bit so we can see what's going on, because now we can hold our crosshairs on it. All right. So that's and it has a blue circle around it. Like I said, the end of it will have this blue circle because you can add to it, right? So we know this is the finish. We know this is the start, right? Now here we go. We're going to double tap at the beginning of this. The finger, just double tap on the dot. And without triggering anything else, let's go down to the first segment. There's the first patch. That's what we were calling them these days, patches. Go to the first patch. And I'm going to click right there where the patch meets. I'm going to double tap on that, one of these serpentines. I mean, if you're not, you're just going to get on one of these. We can finish the route. It'll join. It'll look clean, but just tap on one of these. I'll tap on this one. And now, I don't want to pull back and show you the whole thing, but that just highlighted the start to right here where we're at. I'm going to copy this section. Now, this is where I start writing on a napkin. We are going to go leg 1. Right? Let me think about this. Yes. That's what we're going to do. Leg 1. All right. All right. We know the patches are named patch 1, 2, 3, so that makes it easy. So I'm going to write down here on my napkin. It's leg 1. And we know that that's patch 1. I'm going to put patch 1. See my notes here? See that? That's all I'm doing. It's high tech. High tech shit, right? Well, sorry. Sorry, YouTube. Sorry, kids. High tech right there. because I'm going to forget, and you'll see. Go back to iPad view. All right, because then we're going to go where the patch 1 comes back in to the route, and we're going to double tap. And without tapping anything else, being careful. Where are we going here? We're going to scroll. Where was that second patch at? Hopefully I don't miss it. That's that weird one. I don't even know if we're going to add this one, because I don't even know what's going on there. You guys are going to have to pay attention to the race media and figure that one out. But after this video, you should know how to make an edit. I don't even know where it was. Let's see. I think it was up here. How are we doing? 0.8 frame. Dropping some frames, but hopefully the video is still good for y'all. Where was that at? Let me scroll up. Well, oh, there it is. There it is right there. I don't know what that is, folks. I don't know what they're telling you to do there. I'm willing to bet that is the sportsman, something to do with the sportsman cut. But based off this video, y'all can figure out that and how to do the sportsman if you're racing the sportsman class. I'm going to leave it out from this because I don't understand what it is and it doesn't go anywhere. So we're going to skip that one. And let's go find... Man, this one might be tough to find. Let me see. It's just like little dog leg. Actually, there was a danger there we can look for. Let's see here. See if I can find it. Check, check. Volume still good? All right. See if I can find this. Where's it at? No? Anybody remember what danger that was? Is it this one? No. Just a little dog leg. Up here? All right. Let's go back. I'm going back to the web. Let's go look at their napkin. What does that say? I can't even read that. There we go. RM340. It's RM340. All right. RM340. So if you lost track, RM340. If you lost track, I clicked on the oh, it's way down here. There it is. So if you lost track, what we did was we clicked on the segment after the last patch. We double tapped to select. And now at the beginning of this patch, I'm going to double tap right here somewhere. There you got the highlighted route. Going back to our previous tap. I'm going to copy that section out. And I'm going to call it leg 2. Copy. My little trusty napkin here. I'm going to put leg 2. Now, we're going to have this leg 3, patch 3 right here. That's going to be next. Patch 3. We skipped patch 2 because I don't know what it is. Y'all figure that out later. But that's what we got so far. High-tech redneck right there on this napkin. All right. Now, man, I like this thing. All right. So now we're going to go to the end of that patch 3, right there at RM340, where it picks back up. And we're going to double tap. And there's no more patches, so we're going to go to the end of the course carefully without double tapping anything else. If you double tap another serpentine, it's not a big deal. This thing isn't perfect. If you double tap something else, there's not like a deselect thing. It's just kind of hung up. Just go to the menu, back out of the route editor, and go back in the route editor to clear out the selection. That's what you got to do. But I'm going to go, and so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to double tap at the end of the course. And I just screwed that up. So I get to show you how to fix it when you screw up like that. Remember, you were paying attention. I wasn't. But I just selected the start of the course. So what happened now was I selected the start the whole way around to the end of patch 3. We don't want to do that. So again, there's no real way. I mean, you could sit here and try to select something else, but see, it gets real screwy. So we're just gonna back out of the route, and we're gonna go back into the race route, hit edit, and we're gonna do that again. That was a 340. Right there we are. 340, double tap. Now we're going to try to do it right. I'm going to try to do it right. I knew this was the end of the route over here. I can hold my crosshairs down there. See, I got the mileage. That's right. That's wrong. So I'm going to double tap over here. Copy section. And we're going to call this leg 3. And I'm going to put on my napkin. You laugh. This one's not that bad, but I've seen some bad ones. And the napkin is the secret to doing this. So now, that's what we got. Right there. Got our napkin. Leg 1, patch 1, leg 2, patch 3, leg 3. And that's how we got them named in our route list. So now we want to merge those 3 together in that order. Leave out the rest. So now we're going to get you back up here on the screen. Now we're going to go into the menu. Let's just all we gotta do is select any route. Doesn't matter. Always select the first one. Might as well. We're gonna go down to join multiple routes. All right, here we go. If you're not comfortable, this is where you might want to duplicate the collection or save it out again as a backup before you screw it up. I'm going to try not to screw it up on live TV here. But off my napkin, I'm not going to screw it up because I got my napkin here. And leg 1 needs to be first. So right there's leg 1. Patch 1 is next. A little list here. Leg 2. Patch 3. Leg 3. I totally guessed that off of memory, thinking I was cool. I just realized it, so I'm actually going to check my list here because I will screw it up. Leg 1, patch 1. Leg 2, patch 3, leg 3. We can get rid of this doesn't get rid of it. It's just we're not going to join these. We don't want to join the big straight route. the full route. And again, patch 2, I don't know what the heck it is. Y'all gonna have to figure it out and maybe do this again when they tell you. But I'm gonna pull that out here. So we're gonna join multiple routes, join leg 1, patch 1, leg 2, patch 3, leg 3. Again, that was for me. Y'all are probably smarter than me and not as cautious with this. But here we go. Joining. Now, I don't want to name it joined route because we already have a joined route. So I'm going to name this, well, when did they update this? Well, it's today. There's been no updates since today, and today is, what day is this? The 7th. So I'm going to name this 20, let's shorthand it, 2022 Baja 1000. Let's do November 7. November 7 update. Yeah, let's rock that. We'll even put a complete. For later. All right, let's join it. Back out. Back out. 2022 Baja 1000, November 7th, complete. Let's click on it. Edit. Let's see what we got. Let's change the color of it. What do y'all like? Magenta? We'll go with magenta. All right. Edit. Let's take a look at it. Look at that, folks. We have a magenta Baja 1000 complete race route, single, with the patches added into it. You can tell where the patches went in because we have the little waypoint pins in there. It says where we joined them. We can get rid of those after we are happy that it did the right thing. Go down and see where it did it down here. All right, folks. So there it's merged. Now I'm going to go in and clean this up. Again, duplicate the collection whenever you don't feel comfortable. But I'm going to go back. So we have the 2022 Baja 1000 November 7th update complete. We have patch 2, patch 3, patch 1. I'm going to leave those patches in there. Let's see here. No, I'm going to do this because we still have the track. We still have the original race tracks in here. So we are going to, let's not get rid of patch 2 because we don't know what it is yet. Let's get rid of patch 3. Patch 1. Leg 1. Leg 2. I'm getting nervous. It's late. Leg 3. We don't need that one. Well, we got that. That's our bread and butter right there. Race route. We don't need race route either. Makes me nervous, but we'll delete that. So all we have as routes is the complete. And we just joined everything together with the two patches that we know about. Patch 2 I left in there because y'all are going to have to talk to the race folks and figure out what that's about. I'm sure it's the Sportsman update or something. But there's that. Now, if we back up we still have all the tracks in there. So I leave all the tracks in the background because when they do updates or when you edit the race route, maybe if you want to take a hotline, I don't know if you're allowed to say that, but if you want to not, I don't know if you know this, but if you decide not to go on the race course, is what I'm saying. It's good to have the original track in there because that's the original course and it's in blue. Nothing else is in blue. The tracks are in blue. So when you scroll in here, like where we did that update, you could see where the original track that they handed out went. And there's the updated patch. So I'm saying is when you go in here, when you're pre-running, and I don't know, I'm just making crap up. But like if you're like, man, that part of the course is really rough. What if we just go over here, you know, and down this road. And again, that's a bad example because it's on the part of the course that overlaps. So I'm dragging both sections over. But anyway, there's a ton of pre-running strategy and stuff like that I could go into, but I'm not covering that in the video. I'm just showing you how to clean up this file. So that's it right there. I'm almost tempted to end it right there. Let me think here. I think I should break this up into another section. If you all like this, if people get on here tomorrow and like, wow, that was really cool, could you keep going? I'll do another one. But from here, you have a complete race route. You could hit run on this route and run it from start to finish. It's not going to have any notes in it. Any newcomers, anybody finding this video and not knowing what's going on, this is like way over your head. This is a route. So it has to have all these other little symbols on here. They're in the background. You'll visually see those, but LEADNAV doesn't do all the magic until you go in here and you put notes in, actual waypoint pins into the route line. That's how it does its audio cues. That's how it triggers, everything that you need. So, for example, I could go into here and let me see. I mean, the next thing I would do, well, first, like speed zones. And you know how these change sometimes. But first, in Route Editor, I would put right there a stop sign. And I would put speed zone 37 mph. I started to capitalize stuff like they're extensions. I usually don't do that, so that's how I do it right here. Speed zone 37 mile per hour. If you want to see this stuff a little bit better, you can go down here into settings, display, increase waypoint size, leave the marker size smaller. And this is where I'd go through and along these speed zones, this isn't a long one right here, but in the middle here, I'd usually drop like another stop sign and maintain 37. And then coming out of here, I'd put turn left. And this is where that update they added is. That patch. So I would put a right turn arrow, turn right, end of speed zone. I'd go through here and I'd do all kinds of little stuff like this. I like putting those maintains in there. I'll drop maintains along the speed zone section because, you know, sometimes you'll be cutting through towns and stuff. You're like, am I still in the speed zone? Am I out of it? You know, I know you got your little monitor on there telling you, but for dirt bikers and stuff, I think it's cool to hear maintain 37, because as you're coming down that road, you're gonna see on the display a stop sign, and it's gonna I like to see a stop sign, and it's gonna say maintain 37, maintain 37. You know, it's gonna alert you, and that's gonna tell you when you're out of it. So I like to see that kind of thing. I saw some folks putting out their own courses where they use a feature called if you go into the routes under Pro Pack, there's a convert markers to audio waypoint. Don't do that. Don't do that. I saw some folks putting out the course to other people like that. You don't want that. That is going to pull in every single marker. I covered this. This is how we prep the California 300. This is why the California 300 was so easy, because they offered a danger list external to the GPS file, the track line. They offered multiple. They offered a danger GPX file and the race course file. So what we were able to do, go back and watch that video on California 300. What we were able to do is in two different collections, we were able to do what we just did with the route. Well, it was a lot easier. It was already done. We were able to take the track, convert it to a route, ship the route or send it out to the danger list collection that just had the danger points in. And we were able to run this convert markers to audio waypoints. And then that sucked in the entire danger list into that route file. And then we took that route file and we shared it back to the master collection. Why'd we do that? Because all these RMs and VCPs were part of the race route in the background. They were as markers on this file in this collection. If you would run convert markers to audio waypoints, it would have sucked in every single, not only the dangers, but the RMs and the VCPs. You don't want that. You don't want to hear in 450 meters, RM 65, in whatever meters, RM 65, RM 65. And then you may, as a dirt biker, you may want to hear VCPs. I hear some people are like, we like to hear the VCPs. All right, cool. We'll do that later. Go in and put the VCPs in. There's not as many of those. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, you could scrub through multiple collections and kind of shuffle them around to do what I just explained, but you could also just go in there on the key VCPs that are like in a corner on a wide sweeping corner that you might want to make sure that you're gonna go fully into the corner and hit that VCP. Or if there's a VCP on the course that after pre-running you're like, well, we might, if we're not careful, we might miss this one if we cut it too, cut the corner too close, or cut the corner off too much. So you might want to hear those VCPs coming. Like you might want to put a waypoint in that says VCP, making it up, VCP 33 hard sweeping left, or whatever you want to do. Or silt. It's usually on those silt corners that y'all know about, is they'll put the VCP deep in the corner on a flat, but it'll be a big silt bed, and you got to go deep to hit the VCP deep enough. And you tend to want to race day, like cut the corner, but then you'll miss the VCP. Like those VCPs I understand wanting to hear, but you don't need to hear all the VCPs like on the middle of the rock trails and Jeep trails and stuff like that you can't miss. So anyway, air compressor. So again, there's a bunch of other prep I do to this file. I would have this file damn near pre-ran, sitting right here on my chair without even going to Baja. I know that sounds crazy. I know nothing beats actually going in the field and pre-running, but I could finish off 90% of my notes sitting right here between LEADNAV satellite imagery and Google Earth looking for terrain, because I can visually go through the file. I can visually put in the stay lefts, stay rights that I see, the VCPs, like this right here. We're going this way. So, I could visually go in here, edit this, put in all the notes I need, like this right here. I mean, again, it's hard on these sections that the finish and the start section, because they overlap, you kind of got to spread them apart to get your notes in there, because if you put your note, you need notes for the leaving and the coming back. Before I go any farther, I'm going to cut this here, and I'll continue this tomorrow. If anybody wants me to keep rambling about the Baja 1000, I'll do another. I'll keep going with this race file prep. If anybody's getting value out of this, let me know. If I'm talking to my rear end, then I'm not going to waste my time. But I also don't want to run this on too much longer, because just in case this turns out like crap, I don't want to have wasted my time or yours. But I will continue this tomorrow night. We'll do this. I'll tell you what, we'll do this every day this week. I'll prep this file with you this week, and we'll go into the nuts and bolts of everything, as deep as you want to go. But based off this video, you tell me if you're getting anything out of it. If not, then I don't care. But because there is other things I would do. But as to close this video, what we just did, I know a lot of people asked about this week. So hopefully you get some value out of that. Hopefully you can scrub through this video quick with my rambling. Maybe I'll do another video on just joining. Maybe I'll use this one as an example, because it's pretty clean. Joining and merging routes. Maybe I'll just do a clean tutorial video on this. I just wanted to get on live and just kind of show you where my head's at when I'm going through this, because it's not always clean cut. I sit here, I have to draw on a freaking napkin. This wasn't that bad, actually. Oh my, like, you folks at the King of Hammers last year, y'all know. My buddies, y'all know. I sat there for hours. My napkin was like this long. It was freaking a mess. So this wasn't that bad, folks. So hopefully, I want y'all to be able to, because there's races out there I'm not covering, I don't even know about. Hopefully y'all, race organizers too, should be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this, what we just did. It's very easy for them to do. So when they hand out these patches, they should just have one race file. They should put out a danger list, so you can just easily import dangers into this whole thing. But we'll go into that. I'll go into that tomorrow. But basically, you should be able to take this file. They did mark about 20 dangers as far as physical points that you could go through the danger list and then find those, danger 13, and edit that in there. Most of you know how to do that, I think. But hopefully this cutting and merging of the route back together makes sense to you, because for this race, you will have to do it. When they finally issue out the start and finish of this course, they don't do it until later in the pre-running. So they don't want people pre-running the start and the finish of the 1000. Y'all going to have to do what I just showed you. You're going to have to, you're going to have a napkin. It's going to be a very easy napkin, because it's going to have main race route. Right? And then it's going to have, they're going to give you the start and finish. You're going to have start. I know this is like child play to you, but you're going to have the start and finish, and you're going to merge those three together. Now, you're actually going to have some more in there, because what I would suggest, even if you're a badass that's going to Iron Man this whole thing or woman this whole thing, I would suggest either at your pit or somewhere along this super long race, split this route back up in the sections. If you're racing with multiple drivers, riders, that's easy. Just split it, resplit this course up like I showed you at the driver swaps, and name the routes. You know, Damien, Jeff, Billy Bob, whoever's running those sections, name it, or driver 1, driver 2, driver 3, if you want to be more professional. But, name those route sections. Make sure everybody on the team, especially that guy who doesn't know what he's doing, or that co-pilot that he jumps in front of LEADNAV and he's like, what is this? Make sure he knows how to go to the menu, routes, his route, hit run. Day 1, week 1 stuff right there. But that was, I think a lot of people figured that out by now, but make sure they know that to fire up the navigation for each route when they jump in the car. Anyway, but that's what I would do. I would split the course up into your sections, or even if you're a badass that's going to iron person this thing, I would split it up at least your major pit changes and just, you know, your co-pilot, and you just remember to, when you get there, to select the next route, hit run. Because this is a big course, you're going to have tons of notes in it, and that's going to help the system not crash with all those notes. Again, if you tried to load this GPS file as is in any Garmin or Lowrance, it would freaking blow up, catch on fire, and die on the spot. It couldn't handle it. But it's nice, even though these iPads are super fast these days, it's better just to kind of split it up a little bit, just to be safe. It also helps on the start and finish, which was my long-winded point of all that. Going back to the start and finish, because in this race, they come back on each other. So you definitely want to have a split in the middle, at least one split along the race course. So when you're pre-running and you're taking notes, you can choose one route and then the other route coming back. So like, you're not like I am right here. You're not at the start and finish trying to figure out if you're touching your cursor on the start or finish. Anyway. That's it, folks. I'm not going to waste your time anymore, but if you did get anything out of this, if anybody out there watches this video, again, it's Monday. I didn't expect anybody to be on here. I figure, and half the racers I know are probably already pre-running. And the other serious racers probably don't waste their time on YouTube. But if you are the individual out there who appreciates this video and the time I just spent talking to you, and you got something out of this, please let me know. Comment, like, share, subscribe, buy the app, buy a t-shirt. Thank you. Out.